Hey, Josh Cantwell back again, and welcome back to another 40K Flips training video. And what I want to talk about in this video right now is specific strategies that you can use to get all the private money and all the cheap capital to fund your real estate investments, especially those ones that you can buy really cheap, put a little bit of money into it to fix it up, and then sell it for a big profit. Let me jump in and give you an example of a deal that we're doing right now. So this is Bear Swamp Road. All right, and this is how we got the funding for this particular deal. First of all, you have to think of this in kind of three parts. Number one is you have the house, right? You have the property. Let's put a little house here, little window, little door, right? So you want to buy this property. And on Bear Swamp, we were able to acquire this property for $92,000, okay? So we need the funding to buy the property. We also need the funding for the renovations, right? And the renovations are another $62,000. Right? So we need a total of $154 to buy the property, put in the proper renovations to be able to get maximum value out of it, whether I decide to keep it as a rental or flip it for big profits. Now, I'll tell you, Bear Swamp Road, we're gonna flip it. And the reason why is the after repaired value is $299,000. That's what we're gonna list it for, all right? We're gonna be into it for $154. We're gonna sell it for $299. That's pretty ridiculous, right? All right, so we're looking at almost $140,000 of gross profit, minus financing costs, minus realtor commissions. It's over 100 grand, all right? So this is the numbers of what we're looking at, okay? Now, here's the thing. So how am I gonna get a private lender or somebody who wants to fund this for me? Again, a private lender is somebody who just has extra money. It might be in their savings account, it might be in a CD, it might be in an IRA, it might be in a 401k. They can actually take their retirement dollars, roll them over to what's called a self-directed IRA, and then they can loan out of that IRA to you. People are getting sick and tired of the stock market. So there are people out there, just your regular mom and pop, or the person who just left their job with an old 401k, left their job with an old pension, or just retired, who are looking for alternate investments that they understand, that they can see, that they can control, they can touch. So why wouldn't they lend money to you and basically be your bank? Why wouldn't they lend to you, give you the $154, to buy this property, renovate it, fix it up, and sell it for $299. There's very little risk in a deal where you basically have 40 to 50% equity, okay? Very little risk. So what we do is we find a good deal, we find a good house, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna structure what's called a note, okay? A note is basically an IOU, okay? It's a contract between the lender and the borrower, okay? It's a written contract. It's an IOU that basically says, hey, you loan me the $154, and here's the terms, here's the conditions, here's how I'm basically gonna pay you back, okay? So this is the note, it's the IOU, it's the contract between the borrower and the lender. Okay? So any of you guys who have bought your own personal residence or invested in real estate before, when you bought your own personal residence and you got a mortgage from a regular bank, you sign a note. Basically, this is your promise that you're gonna repay that money, okay? Now, how do we connect the house to the note? All right, so if I have a house in my left hand and a note in my right hand, how do I slap them together to make sure that people know that their note is connected to this house on Bear Swamp? All right? Well, depending on where you live, that's either a mortgage or a deed of trust, okay, depending on which state you live in. So I got my note in one hand, my house in the other, I slap them together. When I spring those two together, the mortgage is a security instrument that gets recorded, basically saying, this note, this money is owed on this property, okay? Or this money is owed and this house is the security, okay? So this gets recorded. All right, which is great. And it connects the house and the note together. Fantastic, right? So this lender knows, hey, I got this $154,000, it's secured by this property. All right? Also in the mortgage and the note, these contracts, these legal instruments, is where you're gonna find all the legal mumbo jumbo. LMJ. This is all the terms, the conditions, the repayment plan, okay? Let me tell you what we do with Bear Swamp Road. And this is what I'd encourage you to do when you're recruiting private money, when you're talking to investors, when you're looking for private financing and cheap capital. This is how you should structure it. And the reason why I suggest this is because this is exactly what we've been doing for 10 or 12 years that's been so successful, okay? So what I do is I promise this lender, okay, I promise him 12% interest, okay, or 15% of my profit, okay, whichever is higher, whichever is bigger, whichever is better, okay? So on a deal like this, the family who's funding Bear Swamp Road, they gave me $155,000, right? Enough to cover purchase plus rehab plus $1,000 extra, you know? $155,000. And I gave them a note, a mortgage, and all the legal mumbo jumbo says, hey, I'm gonna pay you, Mr. Lender, 12% interest on your money, or 15% of my profit, whichever's higher, okay? So let's just say, for example, we're able to sell Bear Swamp Road. Let's just say we sell it for $280, okay? We take out roughly 10% for our closing costs when we sell it, okay, when we sell it, and we're gonna net $252, okay? Now, we're gonna be into it for $154. $154, what does that mean? Oh my goodness, we're gonna make $98,000. Oh my God, which is awesome, right? I hope you do deals like this too. So $98,000, which is fantastic. Now, what we're gonna do is when we get to the closing table, when we sell the property, I'm gonna go to Mr. Lender over here and I'm gonna say, listen, is 12% interest on your 155, he actually gave me 155, 12% interest on the 155, is that higher, or is 15% of my $100,000 profit, is that higher? Which one is bigger? And I'm gonna give him whichever one is bigger, okay? Now, you know, hopefully it's the 15% of profit, because when I give a guy 15% of my profit, and that's higher than the 12% interest, guess what? He's getting 12% interest, 15, 18, 22, 25% return on his money, and you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna come back and give you more money. He's gonna refer you to other people. He's gonna introduce you to family and friends. That's why this little kicker right here is a huge part of what we've been doing for the last 10 or 12 years. And we just keep getting referred and referred and referred and raising more and more and more and more capital. All right, now here's the best part about the structure. Guess what, guys? We make 0 monthly payments. I have 0 cash flow obligations to the lender over here, because the way we structure all the legal mumbo jumbo is to defer all the interest until the property is sold, okay? My investors love it, we love it. It's very cash flow friendly, number one. Number two, it's simple interest. It's not compounded interest. We're not paying down any principal, number two. Number three, I get all the capital that I need up front. I get the purchase money. I get the rehab money. I get all the money for closing costs. I have all this cash sitting in my account when I buy the property. So the $62,000 that I need for rehab, I have it all available right away to be able to draw against that money and start paying contractors, paying for utilities, paying for marketing, all of that money up front. So that's the third big benefit, is I get all the cash I need up front, okay? And then for my investor, my lender, guess what he gets? He gets a minimum of 12% interest or 15% of the profit, whichever is higher. Now I can tell you, one final note, this 12% interest, that's net. There's no commissions, there's no fees, there's no expense ratios like there is in the stock market. So this 12% interest is like getting 13 or 14% fixed interest in the stock market. So that's how we get our cheap capital. That's how I want you to structure it as well when you're going out to find your real estate investment deals. And if you make it a win-win, if you put your private lenders and their best interests ahead of yours, you'll raise all the private money that you'd ever need. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's video on getting cheap, flexible capital for your real estate investment deals. If you like this information and you want more, do me a favor, register for our master class. On this free master class, I'll teach you everything that you need to know about getting cheap, flexible capital and why private lenders and investors are dying to give you their money to invest in your deals. So make sure you register over here, and also go beneath the video and leave us a comment. Tell us what you like, what do you want more information about, tell us if you like the video or not, all right? And if you hate the video, tell us that too. We love feedback, positive or negative. Go beneath the video and leave us a comment, all right? Thanks a lot for joining us right here on this video. My name, again, is Josh Cantwell, and we'll talk with you real soon. Take care.